I'm at the Sydney Freedom Conference talking to Callum Thwaites. Now, Callum, you were brought up in front of the Australian Human Rights Commission as a university student, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. I was brought before the Human Rights Commission in 2015.
And what did you do to be brought in front of the Human Rights Commission?
Well, in 2013, a university student named Alex Wood was kicked out of an Indigenous-only computer lab and decided that he'd post on Facebook about it. A lot of people commented on this, and someone using my name and my picture made a comment as well. It wasn't me, and I've never been able to find out who it was, but as a result of this, the woman who kicked him out of the computer lab took offence and used a section of our legislation called Section 18C of the Racial Discrimination Act to sue Alex, 6 other students, including myself, the university, and 2 university staff members under this legislation.
So 6 students, 2 staff members, and the university were sued. Wow, that's a lot of people. And tell me what happened with the case.
Well, we went to the Human Rights Commission. They had the complaint for 14 months before they decided that any of us students should even be told about it.
14 months? And you weren't told about it?
We weren't. We were given 3 business days in order to come to terms with it before a conciliation conference where we were meant to mediate. That failed, obviously. It went to the Federal Circuit Court of Australia, and we managed to get it summarily dismissed after a 7-month delay. And then we got her attempt to appeal also dismissed, and as a result we're all free now. Free men, although we have this reputational smear of alleged racism that may follow us forever.
And if the case hadn't been dismissed, what might have been the consequences for you?
Well, she was wanting $250,000 as compensation for the hurt feelings, the lost income, the psychological damage that was caused by Facebook posts.
And so she was suing for $250,000 under 18C of our Racial Discrimination Act over a Facebook post. Can I ask what the Facebook post said?
So Alex's post said, QUT, stopping segregation with segregation.
QUT, stopping segregation with segregation. Yeah. And this caused grievous offence.
It did. Some of the other comments were relating an Indigenous-only computer lab to be equivalent to having a white supremacist computer lab. If we've got one, why don't we have the other? One of the comments was critiquing it and comparing it to women's collectives. That got someone sued as well. Someone made a joke about how Indigenous students even get to university. That got them sued as well.
So if someone's having a women's only group or an Indigenous only group, and if you draw attention to that, you can be charged with offence now under our 18C of the Racial Discrimination Act. Is that your view?
That seems to be how the law's being operated currently, yes.
Yeah, okay. And so after going through this experience, what are your views on 18C? Do you think it should be amended so this kind of vexatious complaint isn't made against students in the future?
Well, I mean, if we had a choice between amending it and doing nothing, amending it would obviously be the choice to make. But if we had a choice between amending it and repealing it completely, I would be in the repeal camp. I think we don't need this kind of legislation to inhibit our free speech. We are a liberal society. We can determine what is and is not acceptable within our society. We don't need
and it's quite subjective. It's entirely subjective whether offence is taken. And you would agree with that?
It is, and it's all based, this law is based not on the community standards, but on the reasonable member of the victim group. So someone doesn't even need to actually be offended. It just has to be reasonably likely to offend a member of that group.
And there's no objective criteria to determine that, so that seems to be the main issue. All right, thanks for joining us, Callum. If you liked that video, please click like and subscribe.